This podcast contains strong language and adult themes from the outset. Strap yourselves in, baby. I like this top. Cheap. Asda. Sometimes I just... one of my clients, he's like, oh, you go out without your bra on. We're talking about... I can't remember what I was talking about. How we got onto that. And I went...
I was trying to go out with my bra on yesterday.
I like it.
Done, but
I just like being free. In the morning when I walk the dog, I literally, no pants, no bra, t-shirt, shorts, out down the road. I don't care. I don't even brush my teeth. Out the door. I don't care.
I don't really wear pants unless the thing I'm wearing is going to make it look like I need to wear pants with it, if you know what I mean.
Like, you spend all day being strapped up. Oh, and you take that sports bra off in the evening. Oh, it's the best feeling in the world, isn't it? Oh, never mind those fucking compression leggings.
The only way a man can I don't know what it's like for a man to let his member go free.
It's jingle jangles.
Yeah. The only way he could understand is if he got long hair and he's had it tied up all day and you let it out with that ponytail. And
Yeah, but it's got to be because some guys don't like wearing tight budgie smuggers, do they? They don't like wearing really tight pants.
No.
They're like, they like wearing baggy shorts. So I'll tell you a funny...
Yeah, but it's got to be uncomfortable, hasn't it? It's got to be supported in a way.
Like dangling around. I got a couple of funny stories with that. I had a lad turn up to my Thai boxing class one night, right? And he had guys in grey jogging bottoms. Guys in grey jogging bottoms.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they might as well just be walking around with their dick hanging out. You can see everything, right? So I start doing star jumps. Literally, I could see his dick just going up and down and up and down. I was like...
Did you do that on purpose?
Dude, like, what is that? Like, jeez. I mean, you knew you were going to do exercise. I tell you what that's like. That's like a girl turning up with no bra on and jumping up and down with massive tits, and the tits are flopping around everywhere. I mean, it distracts you.
It's got to be painful, though. It's painful, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, so that's that funny story. He felt a little bit embarrassed, but, I mean, you were the one jumping around with your dick flopping around everywhere.
It's got to be, so like with women, you've got like one ligament that supports the breast, and if you don't,
it's not a ligament. It's just tissue. There's no ligament, is there?
There's basically one bit of tissue that supports it from pretty much going down to your knees.
Well, skin.
I don't know if that's like an old wives' tale.
What? There's no ligament there. It's just tissue.
Ligament.
It's attached to your pec, isn't it?
My boobs do look better since my pec strength is better.
Of course. Yeah, but I've got I can flex my pecs. Can you do I can make them?
I have to really concentrate.
I can make them twitch. Yeah.
Yeah, I can do it sort of. I have to really concentrate. Sometimes when I start watching TV.
Yeah.
And if it's something I'm not really bothered on. I can't do it.
You look like you're waiting for a poo. Don't pull that face.
Cooper's ligament are bands of tough, fibrous, flexible connective tissue that shape and support your breasts.
Okay.
So I was right.
All right.
Yeah, exercises to avoid sagging breasts.
Go on.
I can hear her rustling.
Oh, damn it.
Maybe they can apply that to their bollocks as they get older.
Pec flies, bent over rows.
To avoid?
Chest stretch, to avoid saggy breasts.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I do bend over rows.
Push-ups, chest press, lying dumbbell rows. Yeah, pretty much everything.
Keep your pecs strong.
Yeah. Back strong and pecs strong.
Right.
There you go.
I've got something to share with you.
But what I was trying to say is I wonder if there's a ligament or something that stops the like having saggy balls because it must be painful because if you run and you don't have a supportive bra on, certain times of the month it's like quite pendulous, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, whatever. Why were we talking about that?
Because you was talking about how you like walking out without a bra on.
Tight pants. I did have a guy turn up to my massage one day, and you would hope that most of your clients, when they turn up to massage and they step inside your room and they take their clothes off, have got some level of coverage on.
Well, so that's why I ask people now. But they think I'm weird because I ask. But I've had it happen where they go, oh, I don't have any boxers on. Okay, but you came here
For a leg
about your leg.
massage? Like, yeah. So he took his trousers off and I said to him, this is the first time I met him, what the fuck are those? He was like, what? He had Ninja Turtle pants on and it was like a skirt pant. I swear to God.
What, like a skirt?
They had no elasticity in them whatsoever.
Oh, but they like the cotton ones.
Yeah, but they were like shorts, yeah. He was just like, oh. I said, well, they're not going to hold anything in, are they? What are they going to do? I said, don't wear them again. Get on the couch. So we often talk about that story. And he decided that from that point on that he quite liked me because I was quite straight and just said it as I saw it.
Get ready.
Wait, leave nothing out.
If you want help, hang up and then dial your operator.
Don't threaten me. You don't scare me.
Fun and excitement.
And when your head is down, leave nothing out.
Oh well, at least we know it's working. So update from last episode. So today is Sunday the 10th of June. The podcast went out yesterday. Last time I looked, we had 20 downloads
Just in one day.
since it launched. 21. There you go. 21 downloads.
And it's not just us.
No, yeah, and we're also continuing to get downloads of the other episodes. So today, we've had a download of pretty much every single episode.
Great.
So we've got a new listener. And then I was at the San Polo on Friday, and big shout out to one of our listeners, Kelly, who told her mate Mary about the podcast, and then Mary started asking me questions about it. And she said, that sounds like it's right up my alley. I'm going to listen to that when I get back. So might be Mary listening.
Great.
So we left off the last episode saying that we were going to talk about nutrition for night shifts because your friend Tomoko had asked.
Yes. But before we get started on that, I still got a funny story to tell you.
Okay.
Right, before we get started on that, you just jump straight in.
I just thought I'd be professional. I mean, I've got a list here.
I know, I can see that. But look, listen.
Now you listen to me.
Have you watched Catfish?
No, but you told me about it.
Right. So.
You told me about that guy. Is this the story about the guy?
Ferdinand's Fred. The guy that messaged me and wanted to be my sugar daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I tell you about that before?
Not on here, you told me about it.
Right, so that was a little while ago, right?
Right.
So yesterday I had, I think they might have, they've gone. No. Right, so I follow Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah.
Right? And he put a post up the other day saying how when he started out, the American music industry didn't know what to do with him, so they decided to send him off to Europe, and that's where he found his fame and all the rest of it. And I don't normally post stuff on his Instagram stuff. I just like following him because I think he's one sexy beast, right? He's something of what I'd like.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, right?
Lenny Kravitz.
Okay. So I get this message from Lenny Kravitz.
Fuck off. With the blue tips, Lenny Kravitz.
Listen, it's so funny. Listen. Hello. I find it really strange to write to you because I don't usually chat with fans. But after reading your comment on my official account, I realised how much you like and follow my page. Thank you for your support. Honestly, right. I've had to block them. Because I'm not finished yet.
Right.
Yeah, right. So I said, so I messaged, I thought I'd have a little bit of fun with this. I said, so I have to believe that genuinely Lenny Kravitz spent time out of his day to reach out to little old me. I've been a fan for over 25 years. If this is some kind of poor catfish bullshit, then it's just sad. If this is the actual Lenny, then I support you 100%. You are an amazing artist, right?
Because
Anyway.
just like, don't put your eggs in one basket.
Just in case Lenny Kravitz might be talking.
Unless it's a similar story like James when he met not Stevie Wonder. What's the guy who sings Hello?
Oh, Lionel Richie.
Yeah, he met Lionel Richie but didn't realise who it was.
Oh, no way. That's brilliant. Anyway, right, so then whoever it is responded, thanks for your support. Okay. And then messaged me again and went, I know you must be so amazed and shocked. Right, stop it. I know you must be so amazed and shocked. The English is quite bad. Right, I know you must be so amazed and shocked. Get a text from me. Trust me, it is from me. For I am Smuti Ben Mu Anju, down to earth, and I believe you know so well you.
What?
Yeah. So I was like, that is too funny. I know it's bullshit, but thanks for cheering me up. I thought he's got money anyway. And then they come back again. I create this private account so that I can have a chat with my fan one-to-one and get to know them, to know how they feel about me and my songs, and also carry them along in my career, right? I mean, stop it. I put laughing emojis and went, sure. And then the last message was, where are you from? And I thought, I can't engage with this anymore, so I blocked them.
Tell the listeners about the one that came up and
Franz Fenton. Right.
Yeah.
So
Because I love the fact that you just reply with one word.
Right. Okay, so hello beautiful, how are you doing? I felt sorry to just infringe on your privacy, but I'd like to know if you have ever had a sugar daddy before, but if you got to be my sugar baby, I will pay you weekly. I'm not sure what he would be paying me weekly for. Would I have to send him like pictures and maybe pictures of my tits and my vajooju and things? I don't know. I just put catfishing. They said, get lost. And so I sent them the emoji fingers like fuck you sign and then blocked them.
I love it.
Who are these people?
They figured it out. Get lost.
Yeah. I know, right? Yeah.
I don't get anything like that.
I've never had anything like that. When I've watched the Catfish show, I go, nobody's ever sent me messages like that.
Is that Catfish show, is that like a drama or is it real?
No, it's real. MTV. These people have relationships. This is what happens, right? So
Like the Tinder swindler.
Tinder swindler, but there are people on Facebook and on Instagram that create these fake accounts that then reach out to people, and then these people that contact Catfish ultimately end up in these relationships with this inanimate object. It could go on for like 10 years. How is that possible that you're having a relationship with, they're like, no, but I completely love them. You've never met them.
Is it just because they have that?
Well, they're a bit sad. It's a fantasy,
and it's like an idea that someone's there, isn't it?
I mean, like Lenny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz has reached out to me today.
I would love it if it was true.
I mean, look.
What's one of his songs?
Right, shall I? All right, he's got 12 posts, right, on his actual page, right, hang on, on his actual page, Lenny Kravitz,
What's
right,
really
blue tick Lenny Kravitz, he's got 4.1 million followers, he's always posting shit, so he posts all the time, okay, this other page, it's a private page, right.
He's got 1,000, he's got more followers than we have.
Yeah, we could have bought them. Whoever it is could have bought them. Because Franz, all right, so I mean, he's made it private.
Yeah, he's got 12 posts.
But 12 posts, and he's following over 2,000 people. Who's he following? I don't think Lenny Kravitz is following that many people, other than like other stars.
All his fans.
He's not going to be following fans, is he? Stop it. So anyway,
all these special fans that he reaches out to.
Listen, I feel quite blessed that Lenny Kravitz has reached out to me today.
When you first got that though, what was your first thought?
I fucking pissed myself laughing. I mean, in the back of your head you're going, oh, Lenny Kravitz, and I'm going, come on, I've seen Catfish. But stop it. Yeah, very funny. So that's my news anyway. So pray continue. I wanted to share that.
That was very good.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Because you probably know more than me about how people should strategize their nutrition on the night shift.
I never
What do you
strategise.
suggest?
Preparation is key.
I've written that
Okay,
down.
preparation is definitely
Preparation
key.
is key, yeah.
Making sure that you've got. I think the most important thing is you're not living your life how you're meant to be living it because you're working through the night. So, I would say carb intake needs to be pretty low. Although you do need energy, but you could probably, if you're getting up, whatever time you're getting up, I don't know, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you can have your breakfast and then maybe have your main meal
Before you start your shift.
before you start your shift. So you have your big carb meal then, okay? And then take to work with you. I've put down lean meats, white meat, fish, tuna, beans, legumes, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it's all protein kind of
Greens.
based snacks.
You're going to need a great deal of nutrients in your body, which is going to be really important. Vitamin D is vital because of the reduced sunlight that you're getting. Take a multivitamin. I take this liquid gold. It's liquid, so your body will just absorb it better. But get onto a multivitamin to make sure that you're just keeping everything kind of ticking
like an
over
insurance
nicely.
policy, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. Natural Greek yogurt, frozen berries, really important. I don't eat fresh berries now. I always get frozen berries because I figure that they're better than the ones that are sat on the shelf.
Yeah.
Because the ones that, I think we said this before, the ones that are sat on the shelf, you just don't know how long they've been there for. You don't know how long they've been stored
Yeah.
for. The ones that are frozen, they've had to be frozen
Frozen at source.
at
aren't they?
source.
Yeah.
So they're just going to be better for you. They're going to have a much more nutritional content than the stuff that's stuck on the shelf. Nuts, not too many. Eat the colours of the rainbow. So you could have your main meal before you go, and then I would eat probably every 3 hours.
Yeah, that is what, when I said to you about the British Medical Journal, they had some stuff in there that you didn't agree with, but they did suggest that, eat every kind of 2 to 3 hours. They also say keep hydrated, which is, you would anyway, wouldn't you?
But I think you'd be surprised.
They also
That,
suggest
I mean,
to
it's common sense for me and you, but there'll be some people that will rely on fizzy drinks, Coca-Colas, stuff like that, to get them through the night, where it would be better. You're having anything that's high energy, and your Coca-Colas and your fizzy drinks. By the time you get home in the morning,
you're
want to
gonna be
go.
wired.
You're going to be wired.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say. For a caffeine kick, stick to green tea because coffee elevates the adrenaline levels, leading to high cortisol and insulin, which can lead to weight gain. But like you just said, if you're just using coffee to keep you awake, by the time you get home, you're not going to want to sleep because I don't know what the half-life is on coffee. I can't remember, but it's quite a lot, isn't it? It stays in your system for quite a while.
I would say if you eat every 2 hours and you're ingesting something of good nutritional quality, you won't need the coffee and the caffeine.
Also, it might stop you from that whole vending machine kind of.
No, that's
you
right.
see it and you crave it.
Yeah. So the prep will be really important. Magnesium as well. It is a must. It helps restore healthy bodily functions at times of stress. So it will help to, when you get home and want to go to sleep.
Help with the wind down.
Yeah. I take magnesium every night anyway. I think it just helps
Wasn't
with.
it ZMA? Was it ZMA tablets?
That's got a combination of zinc and magnesium in it.
Because I think I used to take them. Give you
Yeah.
crazy dreams though.
It might have another substance in it, but I think that's zinc and magnesium.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's not like it doesn't require quite a lot of chat about it.
Yeah.
But
It's just confirmation of like if you are doing it,
Yeah.
great, and if you're not doing certain things, start to implement them into
yeah,
your routine.
but eat the colours of the rainbow and eat greens.
I mean, they also suggest
Greens.
Eat your vegetables!
Would you exercise before a night shift, or would you exercise after a night shift?
Nah, do it before. I know. I've had clients before that if you're going to exercise after a night shift, I wouldn't be doing anything that requires any kind of high level.
concentration.
Yeah, man, high activity. Swim, maybe like a walk to help you wind down.
Yeah. Because my thought process would be if you exercise before, it'll increase your endorphins, it'll get you ready, and then you could have your like main meal before you go to work, because you just kind of you've exercised, your body is ready for nutrition, and then you go to work.
I did have a client that used to come and see me when she finished night shift. I stopped her doing it because she wouldn't tell me until she got to me.
Such a naughty little rascal.
And in the end, I just used to send her home.
Oh, because she wasn't switching on.
No, it's pointless. Go rest.
Yeah.
It doesn't make no difference. Go rest, sleep, and come back and see me after you've finished. And then I will make the session specific to how tired you're going to be later on after you've had some sleep. You ain't going to be getting much out of somebody when they've been on a night shift.
That's what I was going to say. So I always eat
Did it
like
come
a
back to
small, yeah. I always eat a small meal before bed. So when I say small meal, like Greek yogurt, frozen berries, some nuts. So I have quite a lot of protein that sustains me through the night. Would you suggest? Obviously, they've had the breakfast when they wake up. They have a main meal before they go to work. They've kind of snacked on high protein stuff throughout the night. Would you say they maybe have like a slow release protein before they go to bed, so they're just kind of...
Well, that if you're taking any kind of the Greek yogurt, I've said like bananas are really good for. They've got an enzyme in it, isn't it, that helps. I suppose it would help with the magnesium, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a tryptophan. What you want is to help produce tryptophan to help you sleep.
Right.
Is it magnesium? Oh, B6 and niacin, actually, tryptophan. I think bananas have got B vitamins in them anyway. Google it.
I will get on it now.
But what you want to do is help the body to produce the tryptophan. That's going to help you then go to sleep.
1 hour later.
I know
There we
that.
are, potassium, vitamin B6, vitamin C,
There you go.
magnesium, copper, manganese,
There you go.
fibre. Yeah, fantastic.
Perfect.
Oh, do you know what is nice in these summer months? And I've
Go
done
on.
it today. You environmentalists probably won't like it because I use cling film. But banana wrapped in cling film, chuck it in the freezer. You've got yourself a banana ice cream. It's really nice.
Frozen banana.
Try it. You heard it here first. You
All
probably
right.
didn't. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I thought. I just asked. Came back to me.
Okay. So
So
that's
yeah,
that's
so
it
pretty
really.
much it.
So Tomoko, that's what you need to do. They were asking me the other day, we were in the gym the other day about a lot of the time, especially this time of year, when you're sweating a little bit more, it's not always like plenty of water that you need, it's your salts that
Yeah.
you need to replace. So I at home will have, I'll have my hot water and lemon, and then I put a teaspoon of raw honey in it, and then I put some Himalayan salt.
Oh, that's lovely.
And that's
Yeah.
your
Well, I tell
rehydration.
people,
Oh, that's lovely days.
for anyone who's just not really into all the sort of, like the nun tablets and the hydration tablets, bit of cordial in your water. Doesn't have to be sugar free because it's nice if it's got a bit of sugar in. A pinch of salt,
Yeah,
which is a really nice electrolyte drink.
yeah.
And don't be afraid to put a bit. If you're exercising and you're out in the heat, don't be afraid to put a bit of salt on
No,
your
that's
food.
right. Yeah.
And there's all
I
this thing
have
about,
salt in my food all the time.
Yeah, there's all this thing about too much salt is bad for you. Well, yeah, but like you don't have to completely negate salt
No.
out of your food.
No, not at all.
because
no,
then
not
you
at all.
start to like.
Well, Tomoko, I gave Tomoko that idea, and she started doing that, and she said she feels better for it. So,
Good.
yeah. So I think if you've got any more questions, Tomoko, just Instagram us or ask me when I see you next in training.
Yeah, she did Instagram us the first time. Well, she
Oh, did
asked
she?
you and then she Instagrammed you.
Okay, yeah, Instagram us if you want any more questions.
And that is at Leave Nothing Out, all one word,
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Yeah. Go on then.
Right then.
We're covering a few topics today, aren't we?
So the last episode where we talked about trans women competing in female sport
Yeah.
came about on the same week where the Roe versus Wade was overturned and abortion in the US became illegal in so many states.
Crazy.
Because it no longer...
Well, it's going to be in all the states, is it not?
It was no longer dealt with from the Constitution point of view. Is that right?
Well, it went to Supreme Court, didn't it?
Yeah, it went to Supreme Court.
And there's 6 people, all men, decide. One woman.
One woman. It was 6-3. And out of that 6, there's one woman.
Bloody difficult woman.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Well, you've done quite a good job at doing your research on it, right? But I mean, talking from a personal point of view, I don't need to do any research because I know how it made me feel personally, right? And thank God we live in a country where we are never going to look at that, ever.
Yeah. But, right.
What's the but?
No, I'm just saying, I agree with you.
Yeah.
But a client of mine brought up a very good point of if abortion is illegal, what's going to happen in those states where it's illegal when you've got, for example, a woman is having an ectopic pregnancy, the treatment for that is an abortion, either medication to stop the pregnancy from growing and then ultimately surgery to remove the pregnancy and remove the affected fallopian tubes. So what's going to happen in that situation? Are they going to leave a woman in pain, suffering, whilst they get on the blower to find out if they're allowed to do it because they potentially will lose their
I think they've got a lot of
medical
questions. I think they've
license?
got a lot of questions to ask in America. Actually, I think they've got. I mean, like, you wouldn't want to live there right now, would you? At all. I mean, you see America as the land of the free, and it's not at all. It's not at all. It's a fucking mess.
Yeah.
It's an absolute mess. When I lived there, I suppose I went there with, because I thought they all spoke the same language. I went there with rose-tinted glasses on, I suppose, because it's always promoted as the place. It's like the golden continent, isn't it?
Oh yeah, everyone's dreaming like American dream.
Yeah, but the
you
race
can be whatever you want to be,
and you can, as long as you're the right colour
and the right sex.
and the right sex. Yeah, I mean, how can it be that we're in a place where women are still having to fight for the rights to their own body? How are we still doing that? Or how are they still doing that? Like I said, we're really lucky in this country. I fell pregnant when I was 17. And I think I told you that I was living with this guy who was, I didn't really like him, but he paid me attention and I was craving for attention because I wasn't getting it at home. I didn't really understand that at the time. I understand that now, but I was 17, I was a child. So I ended up moving into his house, living with his parents and him, and he used to spike my drink with acid, my tea with acid and speed, and I ended up falling pregnant. That's no place to bring a child into the world.
No, and he's got massive issues as well. If he's having to do that in order for him to feel like he's got some control.
Yeah, well, I don't. In the end, I mean, I ended up running away from him. So I think he was spiking people with heroin and all sorts in the end, from what I hear. I mean, that is hearsay, but I think he thought it was funny. It's not funny, is it?
It's not funny, but all I can imagine now is that he's the one that inevitably gets into be a leader of a cult.
Yeah,
he's the one that's like the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. But anyway, so I did the usual like denial thing. I was like, no, it can't be right. It can't be right. But you know what? I knew that I was instinctively. I knew that I was, and once I'd actually had a chat with myself, and said I didn't even question it. I didn't even think, do I want this? Don't I want it? I knew abortion, done. I wasn't even in a place to look after myself.
Yeah.
Let alone look after a child. And thank God I had that choice.
Yeah.
And I never think, you know what, I'm never in a place now where I go, I feel sad for it. I never think about it. And because it wasn't like 12 weeks down the line where it was a formed baby. It was a cell.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything.
Well, that's where I come into. I've put a little note on here. It's like, why is the embryo more important than the bearer of this this fertilized egg? And then on that podcast I was listening to the other week on BBC Sounds, that Antisocial, The woman on there said that she's heard women be described as womb carriers, and it's like, are we just baby making machines? Like, do they actually care about the woman?
No, that's right. But again, we're living in this. I mean, fuck me. Like what? So we're celebrating men as women, right? And they're never going to be in a place where they're carrying children, ever. No. And so what? We've given you your the rights to be able to work and own your own home, and you can have everything that you want as long as you're bearing all the children and taking on board all the responsibility of just life in general. I mean, it's just, have we moved forwards? Have we moved forwards? No. How far have we moved forwards?
Well, and then going back to how America, so it went to the Supreme Court, and the original Roe versus Wade, the argument was that, so in America, I didn't really know much about the American law, so I apologise for my ignorance, but obviously they had the Constitution. The Constitution was established September 17th, 1787. So you can imagine, I mean, we spoke last week about, what was it, when was the first Olympic Games held?
1800s.
1800s. So even
1836, I think.
So 1836, women weren't allowed to compete, and it was only in like the early 1900s that women were allowed to compete.
In archery.
And figure skating and lawn tennis, right? So imagine the opinion of women in 1787 when the Constitution was established. Now, the Ninth Amendment, I don't know if this is fully right, but it's regarding like body autonomy. So it says body autonomy is a critical component of the right to privacy protected by the Constitution. So that's like the Ninth Amendment. So people over in America have the right to this privacy. So therefore, why can the impregnated woman not have the right to decide what happens to her body? Because body autonomy is an element of that Ninth Amendment.
Because you've got that Christian belt. It all falls back to religion.
Religion and politics often make some people lose all perspective and give way to ranting and raving and carrying on like emotional children.
And that Bible belt that you've got going on in America.
Yeah.
They're all nuts.
But then it massively increases that social divide again. Because they're saying that if you live in a state that is illegal, you can travel to a state where it is legal. But chances are the people who are requiring
are going to be poor.
Yeah, and they're not going to be able to afford to travel to that state. Never mind over in this country where we're saying, we're allowing people to come over from wherever they are to have an abortion here. Well, if they can't afford to go to a different state, are they going to afford to get over?
Because in Ireland, is it still illegal in Ireland?
I think even in Ireland they changed the rules.
Not so long ago, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still illegal in Ireland for quite some time. And you would have, I don't know how much trouble that women would get in for coming across to Britain to have it done,
Abortion in Ireland is regulated by the Health Act. Abortion is permitted in Ireland during the first 12 weeks of pregnancy and later in cases where the pregnant woman's life or health is at risk. So they're allowing it up to 12 weeks.
Yeah, but when did that come in? That's not so long ago.
Yeah, it was like 2020.
Wow.
Hang on. Just says from 22nd of October, abortion is decriminalised in Northern Ireland. I think it actually took longer for Northern Ireland to change their rules.
if these decisions that are made by men, because the majority of these decisions are made by men, who can just... I saw a post on Twitter, and this woman, she had a dress on that had like printed sperm on it, and she had a placard that said mandatory... what's the snippy snip called?
Vasectomy.
Mandatory vasectomy, life starts at ejaculation. I thought it was great. Because a woman doesn't get pregnant without being penetrated by the guy, and the guy could just stick his dick in and fuck off and do what the fuck he likes. He hasn't got to bear all the responsibility.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Go on.
Because if that's the case and the woman doesn't want that to happen, contraception is still legal in America. It never used to be legal in...
How many times have you got down and dirty and had unprotected sex?
Never, Mum and Dad. Always safe. Always make sure they put the wellies on before they go paddling. Always.
Well, let me tell you something. She's full of shit. Right. Come on.
I was a virgin until I married.
Oh, fuck you.
Right, you asked me a question. Right. Ireland. I think it was like 20, it says here something like abortion services commenced on the 1st of January 2019 following its legalisation by the aforementioned act. Yeah, so 2018 was when the regulation came in, and then by the 1st of January 2019
I think
it was...
in America, whilst we're all appalled at the decision that's been made in America, what you've got to think, if that decision, right, that legalisation has been overturned, what else are they going to be looking at that can be overturned in America? Gay rights,
Yeah.
civil partnership, all of that. Because any of that could be happening. Any of that could get overturned. Because that Bible Belt won't be believing in gay marriage, gay relationships. Because you know what the Bible says, that, you know, men and women procreate, and this is what life is meant to be, and Adam and Eve, and
As I see it, God created Adam and Eve. He didn't create Adam and Steve.
and you know, forget about evolution and how we came about as human beings. You know?
Yeah, I think, I'm sorry, I'm just looking, because I think Northern Ireland was late to the game. I think Ireland legalised it, and then about 6 months later, Northern Ireland legalised it.
Okay. You know, the thing is,
The
right?
family was...
You expect this type of behaviour in like third world, in, you know, the Middle East, because
well, in the
you
Middle
know,
East, you got women being stoned.
yeah,
haven't they,
yeah,
for-
still, right?
for
You
kissing
don't.
their
What you
husband
don't
with a
expect.
female.
What you don't expect is women that have fought for our rights, and you know, the first wave feminist. The first wave of feminism, the second wave of feminism, and all of this stuff that you felt like you were actually moving forwards with our own rights, and they've just taken like 5 steps back in time.
Yeah.
Terrible, really terrible. I feel sorry for any of the women living in America right now, because it would be quite frightening to be in America right now.
Yeah, because you
just
don't-
it's unsettled. It's unsettling. Because what's next? You can't work. You can't own your own home again. You just stay at home. You're just going to be subservient to the man who ultimately can have whatever he wants, and you'll just take care of the children.
Yeah.
I mean, that was going on in the 50s.
Well, like I said last time, it's almost like Handmaid's Tale, isn't
Yeah.
it? At the start of that, where the women were told or asked to go home. Obviously, that's not in the Handmaid's Tale; it's in the adaptation going forward. But the females were asked to go home, and then when they went home, they realised they didn't have access to the bank accounts anymore. If they wanted money, it had to go through their husband's accounts.
Terrible. Terrible.
And that is supposed to be fiction.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
But it's not fiction though, right? Because that was going on in the 50s.
Oh, yeah.
That was
But
happening.
you don't expect that to happen now.
You know, I saw a programme about this one particular story that stuck out in my mind. I can't remember what the programme was about, but this woman was in a severely abusive relationship where the husband was beating her, he was beating the children, right? And in order for her to leave, right, and get divorced from him, if she divorced him, he would take the children and she would be left with nothing. Right?
What was this real life or was this
real life? No, this is real life. Okay.
So obviously
now,
there's like the Duchess, isn't there? And that's like based on.
If, in order to save the children from him, she gave the children up to adoption. Because she had no other choice other than to do that, to save her and save the kids. I mean, fucking hell.
You imagine that these days. Social services want to keep them with their family as much as possible, even if it's not the right thing to do.
No, but anyway, you know, fuckers. My dad's a fucker. Paid nothing. did nothing. Just lived his life in America, did what the fuck he wanted. Would phone us up once a year. Phone us up once a year, I love you too. No, you don't. You love yourself and you're guilty. That's why you're phoning us. You know? Didn't pay a penny. Child services wasn't around at that time. Didn't do what the fuck he wants. So who's left to pick up the pieces? My mum, who ultimately didn't want us either, but wasn't in a place where she wanted anybody else to have us.
Yeah.
So whatever anger and fucking mental health issues she had going on was taken out on me and Lee.
Yeah, because didn't you spend some time with your auntie and uncle or something?
No, I used to spend quite a bit of time with my mum's mum, my nan, when my mum was at a place where she couldn't cope at all. We were split up quite a lot, me and my brother as kids, and played off against each other. So he would go and stay with my dad's mum, Gran, and Grandad Chick, and I would go and stay with Nan. But no, my uncle Mick, I found out in 2013 when I went and stayed with no, I didn't stay with him at my Gran's funeral, that my mum had always made her out to be horrible Gran. So she'd done a really good job at turning everybody against us. She isolated us from everybody. And what I found out at the funeral is that my Gran used to keep trinkets, she had a little box next to her bed where she had all her treasured possessions, and there were pictures in there of me and Lee.
Oh.
But my mum had made her out to be horrible Gran, so we always thought she was horrible Gran.
Because you'd believe your mum anyway.
Because you'd believe her, yeah. But my Uncle Mick said that we tried to take you as kids, but your mum wouldn't have any of it.
Yeah,
But
in the book it says that they wanted to take you and look after you, and
Yeah.
and she then turned you against them.
Yeah. Told us horrible stories about them. None of them true. She's a horrible human being, my mum. And then my dad, fucking waste of space. Anyway.
Someone made a comment the other day, or was it you that made a comment and said, well, don't worry about abortion laws coming in, because they'll all be dead soon because of gun control. The right to bear arms gun control is out of control.
How is it that they can change the law on abortion, but they still... I mean, how many people have got to die?
So, this is because it is a constitutional right in the Second Amendment that every American has the right to bear arms. But, I was reading up, and it said, historians agree the primary reason was to prevent the need for the US to have a professional army, and it seems it was not intended to grant the right for private individuals to keep weapons for self-defence. So, in 1787...
Wait, hang on a second. When was the Constitution written?
In 1787, it was like, okay, well, we don't want to have a professional army, but if everyone has the right to bear arms, then we can defend ourselves against a tyrannical, government. Well, now, they're kind of... It's like they've kind of adapted the rules for their own benefit.
Yeah, that's right. They've manipulated it.
A bit like the whole abortion laws.
Yeah, that's right. Well, they've manipulated it, didn't they? I mean, thank God we live in a country where there's no guns. Thank God.
Well,
although there seems to be quite a few shooting sprees going on at the moment. What was there? One over in...
Was it in this country though? There seems to be every other day. I seem to have
I seen one not advertised. Advertised. Seen one on the news, or maybe in Africa, South Africa. But I mean, it's a bit of a mess. I'm sure there's a few more shootings that go on down there. There's a lot that we don't know about South Africa. Any South Africans you speak to that come from South Africa will tell you it ain't a great place to live, right? So I think there was one in Denmark or somewhere really sleepy. You never think of those Scandinavian towns having any kind of trouble. But where's the place where they have the most suicides? That's a Scandinavian town, isn't it? So it must be quite depressing over there.
Do you think that, the economy, everything's not great, is it, at the minute? Everything's up in the air. There's no everyone's a little bit unsettled. And then when everyone becomes a bit unsettled, all this, obviously it doesn't make it right, but you can kind of understand.
Well, I think people's anxieties are pretty high. The price of living is astronomical. Yeah. Billionaires are still holding on to their money like they're fucking greedy twats without putting it back into community or... I don't know, it's just a very strange time to be alive. A very strange time. Nobody wants to help anybody, but everybody just wants to take everything for themselves.
Yeah.
And I find greed one of the worst traits. Greed and jealousy are just an awful human trait.
Yeah.
People don't want to see you do well. Or if you are doing well, they I don't know, they want to pick holes in it, or yeah, they just don't want to see it, do they? You know, I'm happy for anybody to do anything. You know what? If you're succeeding, if you haven't got off your arse and made shit happen, that is not my problem.
Yeah.
Right? It's quite easy to sit. And, you know, for people, when I wrote my book, right, people are like, "Oh my God, it's amazing." I'm like, not really. I just sat down and wrote a story. I'm not even a writer. So when I look at my reviews and I see people that have given me 1 star or 2 stars, I laugh because I go, "But you're telling me that my life story is shit. Never mind how I wrote it, because I've just written it."
But when people give you like 1 or 2 stars, do they write like a little
No.
blurb afterwards?
No.
Yeah.
So it makes me laugh. You know, they're going, "Oh, it's not good." What do you mean it's not good? But it's real life. How can it not be good? Because it's real life.
Yeah.
This is actual factual stuff. It might be the type of language that I use, which I don't really care about. You know, and I tell you what I'm reading at the moment. I'm reading Tyson Fury's book, and they've just, for me, it feels like it's filtered. He's a Jippo.
I think the big problem this country has is being politically correct.
He'll probably have F and all the rest of it in every other word, and it's just desensitized, and it's boring.
Oh, right.
It's boring. I'm sorry.
Biology accepted.
Because you're trying to. Everybody's afraid to say anything these days.
Yeah, I was trying to be something it's not.
They're afraid to give an opinion. They're afraid to say, "Look, this is how you're making me feel." This is the last topic that we talked about, the trans women. Right? It's upsetting me. It's upsetting me because not only, like I've said before, we've had to fight and still fighting for our position, we're now having to fight for a brand new position. We hadn't even finished fighting the arse fight without these guys that are now wanting to be women and step into our lane, you know? But people are afraid to talk about it. Oh, I might hurt their feelings. Good. Because you're hurting mine at the moment. My feelings are hurt right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we said at the end, didn't we?
Yeah.
It'd be nice to speak to someone who has a different opinion to us.
Yeah.
And then have a very professional discussion, a grown-up discussion about, you know, why do they feel that way? Why do we feel this way?
It might not end up being a grown-up discussion.
Well, let's not do it in my house then. We'd do it over the phone, but people complain. I can't understand what people are saying.
Anyway, you got any more questions?
No, I think that's it. That was it.
I tell you what somebody said to me the other day. I like them. They're not too long. And I said, good. So I think people like that because I think.
Well, I'm glad they like that because I had to edit out a lot of stuff in the last one because it went on for quite a while.
It did go on. Yeah, but it's good to have more than less.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So we're going to do goal setting on the next one.
Yes, we are going to definitely get round to that, Dan Goimer.
Okay.
Goal setting.
Yeah, we'll do goal setting.
And we'll probably...
right, we need to tie that in with something else as well because goal setting is pretty straightforward. But I think for me it is pretty straightforward, but I think for a lot of people they don't do it.
Okay.
But again, if anybody wants us to talk about anything, please, you know,
just... That noise is Janine just scratching her boob.
just scratching my titties.
Because the mic is right near her breast.
Because I've got quite a bit of hair there.
No, you haven't.
No, I haven't.
Fucking hell.
Not only are they like a couple of deflated footballs, I got.
Right, I'm looking at them right now and they don't look deflated footballs.
Well, they're just normal tits, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, like they're fucking tits.
Just natural.
Fuck. I wouldn't want anything in there poking them up underneath my chin. Wouldn't like that. I think it'd freak me out a little bit. I'd want it taken out. I think it'd send me a little bit kooky.
I've never felt what fake boobs feel like.
Solid.
I never felt them. Follow us on Instagram. We are keeping our Instagram up to date, or trying to.
Are you tired?
Little, I try and put little tasters.
Oh, we need to do our videos. We just haven't got around to doing it. We need to do that.
Yeah.
Just get us on Instagram.
Alright.
Yeah. It's true though, isn't it?
Yeah, people might. Yeah.
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 And
Alright.
like, no one's on Facebook. Well, are people following you on Facebook? You sometimes share it on Facebook.
I do.
We don't have a Leave Nothing Out on Facebook, but then it
No.
goes between mine and
Yeah.
your personal account.
Yeah, people are picking it up from Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right then, well, we'll try and do a better sign-off than we did on the last episode.
I thought it was all right.
I couldn't edit it properly. So anyway. Are you going to say
You
goodbye?
go. Bye.
Yeah, see you later.
If you need help, hang up and then dial your operator.
Don't threaten me. You don't scare me.
Fun and excitement.
And when your head is down,
Leave nothing out.